daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Southampton part of the Global Sports Podcast Network. My name is Greg Elliott, and as always today joined by my good friend and wonderful co-host, Zach and Go Finch. How you doing, mate? You alright?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. It's we're kind of building up to a game that I don't really know how I feel going into it. So that's going to be exciting. And other than that, just sort of, I feel like I haven't finished my Christmas shopping yet, but maybe I have. I don't know. I feel like I've left it a bit late. Kind of keep forgetting it's Christmas next week. It's really weird.
It's fine, mate. I mean, as a fellow bloke, your Christmas shopping shouldn't need to have started yet. You've got at least six days until you need to worry about that. But you're right. Look, game of football coming up this weekend. It is an interesting and exciting one. It is, top of the league flying Coventry and Fortress of St Mary's. I mean, it feels like we're trying to make it that way, right?
I mean, it's probably a better point than it was, when last season or recently, even as recently as, the Preston game, right? After the Preston game, it's been a Fortress.
Since... Four wins from 4 at home for us, so it's got to be a good thing, right? Tonda comes out in the presser, says he loves playing at St Mary's. Happy days. Can't wait for the game.
I mean, yeah, if he's won every game he's played there, it's got to have been nice for him, right? But yeah, no, you got to take it with the stats show, which is currently we're a good team at home. But I think a lot of things are going to probably make a good difference, right? Like the fact they've had a full week to recover and not had to play a billion games this week is probably going to be a big thing. I think Tonda himself basically said that, right? Which but part of he puts a lot of the losses down recently to the fact that they are the third games in the week and they have been away, whereas this is at home after a full week of rest and training. But let's not bear in mind that we are coming up against the league leaders, which means that we need to take it seriously.
Tom Fellow's back in the team is always a boost as well. Presumably he's going to be in a position to start, and we start with that sort of 11 that we at least like to see and that should be doing bits. I mean, it should be quite an open affair, right? You don't see Coventry coming in with a low block to sort of tackle us that way. Could be like 6-all, right?
I think that there's probably going to be a fair few goals in this game, to be fair. I'm just hoping that we manage to keep the energy right. We've seen what's happened recently with second halves, and I don't, even if we were say like 3-4-0 up, I would not discount Coventry from being able to come back, because they currently have the confidence and have proven to have the ability to pull anything out of nothing, right? Like they are currently on just one of those sorts of runs where even when they've had a loss and a draw, they've managed to come back, and so hopefully we can just be the ones that put them back to that losing streak, and we can take a really nice victory and say, actually, we're here on merit, which we are ultimately, but we've just had a very, very different start to the season than they have.
Well, look, related to that, mate, I went and did a bit of digging and pulled out some stats, which, that I love a little bit of stat-based thinking, but none of this like nonsense like XG, right? But Coventry obviously have scored a monumental amount of goals this season, right? They are on 52 goals, which is pretty nuts. They have scored that from 126 shots on target, totaling 264 shots overall. So, bearing in mind we've scored 35, how different do you think our shots on target and shots on goal are from those totals?
I don't think I've seen that many shots I would have remembered. So, like 60? Yeah. 60 maybe?
We've had 111 shots on target this year, so only 15 less shots on target than Coventry, but nearly 20 less goals. So... what you say about pulling something from nothing is it's true, right? Like
it's that accurate.
Yeah, like Like they're putting away their chances when sometimes we're clearly struggling to, especially earlier in the season, sort of hopefully or seemingly less so now, but it should be a nice open game.
We've started to see signs of that, though, right? Like Manning the other day, we've had a lot of shots that have sort of hit the bar that have sort of appeared out of nowhere. Down to Cienza before Yanda got his first 2 in a row, right? Like he managed to kind of rattle the bar a couple of times.
Both posts in one shot, right?
Yeah, exactly that. So like we have. Yeah, it's just that cutting edge that we don't have in comparison to Coventry, but we are getting there. Like they seem to be instinctively getting goals more than they ever used to, mate. When we're looking and having to rely on hopefully Jack Stephens can get a goal today. Like it's very, very different story nowadays, right?
Very much so. I mean, Adam Armstrong's still top of the Championship goal scoring table with 11 goals.
And that's even with the fact that Coventry are doing what they're doing, but that shows you more so that Coventry have a lot more goal scorers around the team, and that's maybe what we also need a little bit more of.
Yeah, Taylor Harwood-Bellis coming out in an interview with Alfie House this week, saying that it's going to be a tough game, but St Mary's is a tough place to come at the minute. But interestingly, the sort of quote that jumped out at me to pull away was, any successful team, you can't lose 2 in a row. You have to bounce back. We've shown that we can do that off the back of Millwall, and we'll be looking to do that on Saturday.
Yeah, agreed.
So, I mean, that's the mentality we've been asking and looking for in the players, right, for as long as we've been doing this podcast, I think.
Yes, with the entire managerial changeover, staff changeover, player changeover. Yeah, you're right. Since the dawn of time, it's what we ask, and it should be expected, I think, now, right? We should go into this game wanting to get 3 points. We shouldn't be going in, I know that I personally said previously, loss would be the worst thing in the world. I think it feels a little bit different now. I'd take a well-thought draw, but we shouldn't be looking to kind of just down tools. We should be looking to come out and make statements and show that we are wanting to be in contention for promotion, right? That's ultimately where all these players keep saying they want to be, where the manager says they want to be, where the club says they want to be. So taking it to the league leaders is a perfect opportunity to, prove that, and especially in front of our own fans. So,
yeah. Look, it doesn't really mean anything to anyone, as we discuss weekly, but historically, a fixture that's been very good to us in the last 8 matches, which dates back to 2008, we have 5 wins and 2 draws against Coventry, with only 1 loss. And that loss was all the way back in 2008 when they beat us 4-1. But other than that, lots of good results. Lots of high scoring games. There's 2-1s, 4-0s, 4-2s.
Yeah, but this is the other problem with history when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? Is that it's very different, as opposed to they've got a very different squad as opposed to that squad we even faced in 2024. So you can't read too much into it, right? This is like when you talk about, well, historically, whenever we play against Stoke, it's awful. And you're right, because Stoke have had a very similar way of playing. And we played them this season, and it was, I don't know, man. But what I do know is that, if we can take a positive boon and hope that history can repeat itself, then sure, let's just go with that.
Indeed. And look, we know you love a little AI spiel based off of that history, but the forecast that's coming out with is a competitive goal threat duel with a slight Southampton edge at home. Whilst the balance of expected goals favours Coventry slightly in general play, Southampton's home edge and sharper finishing at times keeps them in the hunt. The suggested route being Southampton to win or draw as a double chance, with over 2.5 goals as a solid option. Corners and goals are a reliable staple. So, it's expecting goals. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, and that's all just in the run up to Christmas, that's what we'd love to see. I just hope that I hope we don't do a Saints of it and just put ourselves down and don't. Like, let's bring that mentality when we play big clubs, right? Where we're like, we play really well against big clubs, except actually win and not do what we usually do, which is we played really well for 80 minutes before we lost 3-1 to Man U. Like, that's what I'm hoping to take out of this game. I think that it'll be fun, it'll be exciting, it'll be hopefully really good for the neutral, and hopefully we'll manage to actually get 3 points out of it.
Maybe we'll even get some goals in front of the Northern, mate. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Second half, mate, you're going to be struggle. They should swap it around. But then maybe they won't score until the second half. Maybe that's how we break that curse.
That's it. Right, let's have a little break and hear a message from our partners at Bioniq, and then let's try and guess our starting 11.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements, designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimize your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you.
Okay, and we are back. All right, mate, starting 11.
Do you remember when this used to take a whole segment? And now we're sat here like, well, I guess if Tom Fellows is back, we swap him out for Ryan Fraser, and then maybe BS about who else could come in for all of the other players we've got.
Look, Stevens or Kwashi, right? That's the only real question we've got left to answer.
It's Home, probably our captain, but maybe Kwashi would be better just because of the fact that bit more physicality, for the fact that we've got, we're going to have a bunch of players that we know are going to take shots, but then maybe you'd want Stevens crunching tackles. What we can talk about is that, I don't know if you saw a Dozy posted on Instagram, a little training montage of himself trying to get back to fitness. I think he's very excited coming back. So there you go. Yeah, that's a thing we literally haven't talked about pre-show, or I've even spoken to you about today, really. But that is something that is progress, because we keep talking about this sort of lack of backups to sort of Cienzo and that. So that's a good positive step in the right direction.
Maybe we'll see him off the bench, and maybe that's the opportunity to show that we can, make some impact off the bench, because
that would be good.
You've got things that coming in after this amount of time out, he's going to be hungry. But
yeah, for sure. You'd like to think anyway, because we're not, can't guarantee that. But I'm very excited to see what happens with him, just because I think that maybe, I know we kind of assumed that he's going to be off in January to Belgium, but in actuality, he is portraying as somebody that wants to come back from injury and show what he's doing. But also, I think that it's an exciting team to come back into now, right? Like, if you were like a whole of last season, like, no one really wanted to come back in really to the team. Yeah. It felt like no one really wanted to play here. We had a lot of that. We had people that did show take their opportunities, and I'd say the only one that even had a modicum of success was Sulemana, right? And that was under Juric, and that got him a move to Atalanta under that manager who is now gone. So fair play to him. But the fact that we are currently a team where, there is momentum, there is potentially progress to advance into the Premier League. I know that's a bit early to call that, especially whereas I'm usually the naysayer out of the two of us. But that is an exciting thing to come back to. Whereas, if it was just like we were languishing down in 20th and you sort of come back in to a squad demoralised and defeated, that's not. And even if it is just because he wants to put himself in the shop window, to be able to put yourself into a shop window, you usually need to come back and do.
I was going to say, I think I've said it before, but at the end of the day, personal motivation and whatever gets you fired up is nobody else's business. If you're playing well because you want a move, at least you're playing well, right?
Yeah, we've discussed that really cares more than a few times before. And the other obviously news that came out of the press conference is at one point we might actually have a fit right back. Maybe Gillette's this way. Mads might be starting training next week, but it's not like we really need that. I don't think that we would want to change something that's working. Arguably, you could say that the second half is a bit of a problem. and maybe game management was a bit of a problem, and maybe that will help with that. But like, I'm not really going to want to see any of them displacing fellows at this point, and just learning to deal with those situations a little bit better. We obviously had the conversation about transfers in our episode yesterday, but the other thing about that, I don't know if you've heard about like them saying we got 2 really strong goalkeepers, and apparently there's going to be barely any movement in January. So one minute we're hearing one thing, then we're hearing another. That sounds like the company line, doesn't it?
I was going to say, I feel like the official line to the press and our actual thoughts are maybe 2 different things here, and that's fine. And look, you don't want to, especially, you don't want to discourage the players we've got, because they're still here to do a job. And so, look, I mean, I expect Baz will still be in goal, and that's hopefully fine. Look, for the sake of prosperity, let's try and name it right. It'll be Fellows, Wood, Bellis, probably Stevens, probably Manning.
Yep.
Flynn Downs, Caspiander, then Cienza, Armstrong, Azaz.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that was difficult. That was. Yeah. Isn't it nice that we have like a best 11 now? It's so strange to go from having absolutely no idea who our best players were to now knowing our best players, but being really worried if even one of them is slightly out of sorts. Right? Maybe centre back is okay because we can swap out, say, a Stevens or a Wood for somebody. But
we've still got Ronnie Edwards floating around.
That used to be a bigger problem. We had 5 centre backs, and we were like, we need more centre backs. So it's really weird that we've kind of gone on a 180 in that kind of situation. And same with middle of the park, and striker's still a bit of a big question mark. We keep having that conversation. I'm sure it's not going to go away until the end of January at least. But it's nice that we have a solid team, and I think that's a strong team to put out against what is a high-flying Coventry side, and we should just be able to make sure we give them a run for their money, right?
Let's hope. For sure. It's going to be an exciting game. I'm really excited to get to Paris and watch it, and it'd be nice to see if we get someone like a Dozy on the bench. Just be a nice little buzz to get before Christmas as well. Oh, I'm excited. I can feel it. Right, let's get on to score predictions. But first, let's have a little break and hear a message from our partners at Zencastr. Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description and learn more about Zencastr. Right, mate, we are back. As is tradition, I'm going to throw you under the bus first. What are you feeling? How are we feeling about it?
Yeah. A 3-2 is what I'm actually thinking. Don't know why. I just feel like there'll be a goal, and then they'll score, and then we'll get a goal, and then they'll score. I don't know when. I think maybe a goal apiece the first half, a goal apiece the second half, and then maybe we score right at the end, and we get to do at St Mary's what often has happened to us, right? That's what I genuinely believe is going to happen.
It's going to be a comfortable game if that comes true, is it, mate? That's going to be...
it's not, no, but I don't think it will be, because you've got 2 teams that are, one has struggled to the start of the season, which is us, and they've now managed to regain a little bit of form, that have something to prove after our last game. And then you've got Coventry, who are, just sort of in the ascendancy and are trying to maintain the levels that they will expect and require to get up to the Premier League. And, who knows? I don't know if, have a kind of feel like they're probably going up this year. Obviously, things can change, but they seem to be the ones that are really, really gunning for it. And who knows if they'll survive next year if they do go up? Because again, the most surprising story of who's managed to go up and do well this season's been Sunderland, right? Who were like top 10. So yeah, I think that it's going to be an exciting clash between 2 teams that will probably be very, very up for it. I just don't think it's going to be comfortable because they're going to be two teams that want to go for it, right? So
yeah, I mean, it's not a game that's designed for comfort, that's for sure.
No,
early kickoff as well, which is always a fun one. Makes things that more interesting.
Don't we do worse at early kicks? I don't know at this point. Like, I swear we did. We talked about midweek fixtures in that Mythbusters episode, which then resulted, and then we won nearly every single one of our midweek fixtures since then. But I genuinely can't remember early kickoff. I think it's just that if it goes well, you've got the rest of the day to be happy. If it doesn't go well, it's ruined the entirety of Saturday afternoon. So,
in my experience, whatever happens, win or lose, all that happens is I come home and sit on the sofa and think it's 6 o'clock, and actually it's 3 o'clock.
No, you're right. That is more accurate.
Shall we do dinner and have a nap? What do you mean it's still the middle of the afternoon?
I mean, the time of year doesn't help, mate, because by the time you get home, it is dark. So
that's it. I don't know. Look, you're right. It's not going to be a comfortable day, regardless of how it goes. But I think it's going to be. I've got the feeling it's going to be stupidly high goal scoring affair.
I think it's going to be a generational.
I think 5-3.
Oh, interesting. I was going to say, you're going to go 5-4 or you're going to go 5-3. I know that you'd want to put us. You'd have to have them scoring one more than me, right? Yeah. So that meant that it was going to be at least 5 goals. But I was just wondering how much you thought they were going to score. So that's very, very, it's fine. 5-4, 3-2.
I think
we're optimistic. Good Lord.
I think it's not going to be as back and forward as your prediction. I think we're going to go 2 or 3 goals up in the first half, like we have done, maybe in the first 35 minutes. Then I think we'll concede 1 before half-time. Then I think they'll bring it back to 3-3. I just think that we're just going to have picked it up and we'll just put it to bed. We're just going to show up and prove that we can do second halves now. 2 banging goals in front of the Northern.
Really interesting because, who do you think is going to come and make that difference? Because again, I don't know if Zosi's fit enough to come on yet. I think that was a proper training montage showing. I don't think
it comes from a change. I just think they just kick into gear. Just think something happens and we just bang.
Okay.
Couple of goals for Cienza, couple of goals for Armstrong, and 1 for Azaz.
So you're optimistic that in the second half that most of those goals are going to have to come within the first 15 minutes, or otherwise those players, mate, will not be on the pitch for those late goals. I like it though. There's optimism around the camp, right? Look how happy and jolly we are being Saints fans. How weird is this?
I know.
Even after a loss.
That's it. Well, tune in again after the game to see if that's still the case, that's for sure. Right, look, that is just about all we have got time for today. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and thank you, as always, Zach, for joining me. Like I say, we will be back after the game to talk about it, regardless of the outcome, for better or for worse. But let us know in the comments on the socials. Let us know your score predictions. Are you feeling as optimistic as us? Let us know. We love hearing from you. We are GSPN Southampton on all of the socials, on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, everywhere. Hit us up. Let us know how you're feeling. But until then, everyone, have a wonderful weekend. And come on, you Saints.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.